Hey, what's going on, everybody? Rise and grind. Good morning.
Rise and grind.
We are here, the Mental Health Boys. I'm Steve Foster.
I'm Chris Sapp. What's up?
Hey, and we are going to dive into another episode of what this topic is going to be.
It's a deep one, man.
It is. Manifestation and mental health. How the power of mindset shapes reality.
Before we get started, can I be transparent about something?
What's that, my brother?
When we talked about this topic, and I got a little intimidated.
Ooh.
I got a little intimidated because it's to me, it's one of our deeper topics.
Okay.
I think it's the deepest one we've come up on thus far. So I'm not gonna lie, I was a little intimidated by it, man, but I'm looking forward to it.
Wow. I can, you know what? I concur. This is definitely one of the deepest conversations that we had. As a matter of fact, we're going to have to break it down.
Okay.
We're going to have to break it down into two different episodes. So first episode, we could talk about what it is, that we're talking about specifically, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we could talk about the second episode, the mental health challenges that we have with it, and give examples.
Okay.
So let's break it down like that. Is that good?
I like that, man. So what would be a good place to start? Maybe with just defining what manifestation is.
Oh yeah. Okay, let's do that. So I think it's an old saying, if you think it, if you wish it, you can something like that. You can do it, believe it. There's a book too.
Can see it,
Oh Lord. Yeah.
then I can do it.
The Yolanda Adams version, by the way. So
Sure.
we no judgment at all, but we're gonna keep it clean. So
Yeah. Look, that other name is to not be spoken of.
wish it, want it, do it. That was the name of the book.
Yeah.
That was on a cartoon, I think.
Yeah.
Family Guy. That's what. Oh Lord Jesus. Don't Amazon it, because I promise you will find it.
Yeah.
Because I did. I was like, wow, that's actually a thing. But we're actually talking about manifestation. We're talking about the ability to have something like in your mind or imagine something and it actually like come into fruition.
Yeah.
Where it actually like, it pops out. Not like magic, but, not like voila magic, but actually, actually pops in or pops into your life. Like, you wanted a car. Or let's go a little deeper spiritually, So God allows things to manifest in our life. Goals, desires, and things that we want. Boom. They manifest. Having a great day. Hey, look, I can manifest that right now. I'm going to have a great day.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I'm not gonna lie, man, the thought of as similar as I think we are, and like I said, I know we kind of talked about some of our previous challenges and previous struggles. I think manifestation was something that I struggle with because, as you know, I've dealt with higher levels of it, and I still do, not as much as I used to in the past. I deal with a lot of anxiety. And so this is a good topic to mesh those two things, manifestation and mental health, because my anxiety would cause me not to be able to manifest things because I would manifest things, but sometimes it would be negative things. Because that anxiety would, almost like the self-fulfilling prophecy, we can get in that a little deeper.
That's a little deep what you just said there, bro.
Yeah.
So, of course, just, calling it what it is. Manifestation, of course, is event, action, or object that clearly shows something has come to light. Especially something that might be thought of within the mind, and then boom, it pops into the world.
Yeah. From
in here to the exterior. And we didn't specify if it was good, bad, or anything. So you said something really good. You said something about anxiety. So of course we could say that for the part two.
Of course.
But definitely how it is possible to manifest negative and positive things.
Absolutely. Also, something that I kind of ran into when I was, because of course we always want to be prepared for the show. So we do a little research, and something interesting that I came up on is somebody had said in like a little message form when I was reading about it, said, make sure you know the difference between toxic positivity and optimistic manifestation.
Ooh, break it down.
I said, now that's a bar.
Break it down, right, my friend.
Now,
come on.
Now, toxic positivity. When I first read that, I said, what do they mean by that? Like, what do they mean by toxic positivity? In a sense, I thought about it. As I was driving over here, I thought about it, and I was actually, because I'll never be the type of person to act like I know everything, man. Okay. So when you hear toxic positivity, what does that look like to you? Because I'll be honest, like I feel like I understand what the person was saying, But I think it would be good if we could kind of explain what our views are on that term, because it's something that I'm not super familiar with. Toxic positivity, because we hear a lot of toxic things, but toxic positivity is not one that we talk about very frequently. So
no, it isn't.
When you hear that, what does that sound like to you? I know I'm putting you on the spot here.
I've actually never heard of the term before.
Yeah,
ever. So I mean, I could stab, take a guess.
You know what? Go ahead. While you're doing that,
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up the actual.
Okay.
And so
okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, because it's an oxymoron in a way,
right?
Because it's two things that are kind of like different in a way. It's oranges and apples. I would have to guess it has something to do with there are certain things that are toxic that necessarily aren't positive. Or I can actually say this: too much of certain things is too good, maybe? I don't know. Educate me, sir.
Yeah, so Google says toxic positivity is the belief or practice of focusing exclusively on positive emotions and rejecting or dismissing any negative emotions, often to the point of invalidating genuine feelings and experiences. While positivity itself is beneficial, toxic positivity ignores the complexity of human emotions and pressures people to suppress negative thoughts, creating harm instead of fostering resilience.
Oh my goodness gracious! You just boom.
Yeah, and
woo, that's great. I like that.
Just hearing, I don't know, it hit me when I first read that, because even though, like I said, I haven't really heard the term toxic positivity elaborated on, I knew it was something good. I was like, I wrote that down because I was like, it was something that I did kind of want to talk about. And it said some of the other key aspects are dismissal of negative emotions, minimizing challenges, and pressuring people to always be happy. I did just want to briefly discuss the fact that negative emotions, they're inevitable. It's not avoiding those emotions, but responding to them in a positive way. So ignoring them or pretending that they don't exist, that's where the toxicity comes.
I'm about to mess with you.
Okay, go ahead. Talk to me.
What are negative emotions?
Ooh, okay.
Give me some emotions that are negative.
I would say negative emotions, in my opinion, anger, anxiety. But see, I see what you're doing though. Because even though these emotions could be perceived as negative, they can actually, if they're harnessed the right way, can actually lead to more productivity, and it can lead to, improvement in life, to being a stronger person. What do they say? You get strongest when you come up on those hurdles.
That's right.
You get stronger when you fall and you figure out how to get back up and keep going for your goals or whatever. So it's not avoiding the negative. My bad. Those emotions that we perceive to be negative, but how we respond to them.
I like that. So, can I share a little bit? I like where you're going with it. I want to make sure I'm like in sync with you. So I know the word says, be angry, but sin not. Don't let the sun go down on your wrath. So anger is a secondary emotion. Anger is hiding. Like when us guys, when we're frustrated about something or disappointed or even hurt, we might show anger. We don't show disappointment. It's hard for us to show those type of things. Yeah. So we show anger. It looks like we're an angry person. When it's just not we're an angry person. It's just that we have a hard time communicating with what's underneath the anger. So I believe and I feel like anger is one of the emotions, like all the others, that's on a ladder. And once I'm angry, I can keep going, or I could stay in anger and get locked up, maybe hurt somebody, hurt myself, break something, or I can develop a behavior of wanting something or not wanting something based on being angry. So I just feel like that's one of those things that you can kind of like, sadness too. Same with happiness. But I agree with you about the balance. I like that. Yeah. I like the balance, man. That's great, man. That's like good insight, brother. Thank you for sharing that.
And I know that we might not get into detail on it until we get to the part 2 of the episode, but I did want to briefly say that some of my biggest accomplishments, some of my best manifestations of certain things were a result of those perceived negative emotions. Either somebody may have said something that angered me, that motivated me to get somewhere. And like I said, we ain't got to get into detail, but
previews, I love it.
So that to kind of piggyback off of what you were saying, yes, it's considered a negative emotion, but if that negative emotion brought some positivity is it really negative? You know what I mean?
That's a good thought. So if I can kind of like put myself in a situation, so we could definitely get the manifestation down for everybody. Let's just say, and this doesn't pertain to me, but I'm just trying to give everybody an idea. Got some brand new Jordans and you just happen to buy a pair of all white Jordans. You're already skeptical about wearing them anywhere because they're all white. So You try your hardest to, and I've seen kids do this, man. It's so funny. They walk, man, almost like Frankenstein. They ain't put no creases.
Yeah. You can't crease them up. Can't crease them up, man.
Yeah, you walk in, and then suddenly, oh man, you run late for class or whatever, and the person behind you's not paying attention, so they kind of like smash the back. They just smash your foot right there, boom, right on the front of your brand new Jordans, them white Jordans you got on. So now, what happened? How do you react?
You asking me or you go?
In general.
Yeah.
So it's just the idea of wearing, if you're going to wear an all white Jordan and have the expectation for nobody to step on your shoes, the whole time you're thinking, I don't want to mess these shoes up. I don't want to mess these shoes up. Don't nobody step on my shoes. Don't do it. Don't do it. It is very similar to driving in the tunnel.
Don't get me on the tunnel.
And you're looking at the wall. That's why I wanted the steering wheel. And you're like, I see the wall. Oh man, the wall's kind of close to me, man. Oh, the wall. Oof. You're focusing on the wrong thing. Mm-hmm. If you're focusing on not doing something, guess what's going to happen? The thing that you don't want to do.
It's actually funny that you mentioned that, because I'll never forget the first time we had to drive to New York.
Uh-oh.
If you're not up north driver, getting up there to New York from here, man, you go through some pretty scary it's bridges that's up here, they narrow, people flying past you, it's snowy, the roads is icy, and they driving 80 miles per hour. And I remember the whole time I'm just sitting there like, hey, I'm gonna die today. Today is gonna be the day. I mean, it was one of the most miserable feelings, but it was because I was so focused on something bad's gonna happen. Instead of telling myself, I'm just driving. It's something I do every day. I'm just driving. I'm gonna get here. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna be safe. And guess what? Eventually I did end up getting there. So.
Okay.
And I ended up feeling stupid that I allowed myself for them 7 or 8 hours to just be so like, something bad's gonna happen. Something's gonna hit me. Somebody's gonna. I'm almost even manifested that negativity, man, to the point that I did almost get in a couple accidents because I kept thinking, I'm out here, I'm on this bridge, I know something's gonna go wrong. Ooh. Something's gonna go wrong. I know it, but like I said, part of that is my anxiety that I deal with. And I know that that's something, it's been a lifelong battle and something I'm still battling with. And I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get it together, but I know that that's part of the struggle. But it's why we have these conversations, and it's why we have these podcasts, so that we can improve in those areas.
Sure, and I like the transparency. So mine is the doubter, the overthinker. So that's what mine's does. I overthink and then I start doubting. So that's so I like the transparency that me and you are able to provide for everybody. But the mind is actually like it's like a garden. There's another scripture that says, whatever a man sows, that shall he also reap, right? So whatever you sow, first you have two parts of the mind, the conscious and the subconscious. Awesome. Objective, subjective. One is that carries the beliefs, and one that actually is like awake. So one's sleep, one's awake. The one that is sleep is our beliefs, our core values. The one that's up is the everyday thought process. So our everyday thought process affects our subconscious. Our everyday thought process affects our belief system. Our everyday thought process affects our belief system. I can't stress how deep that is, because whatever you think of or whatever you allow yourself to meditate on, you don't have to close your eyes and be in a prayerful state to meditate. You can meditate by just thinking heavily on something. I believe that if you heavily think on robbing a bank and you start going to the bank and looking around and everything else, and it's always on your mind, you're going to eventually find yourself wanting to rob a bank. I'm just being real with you, brother.
Nah, that's facts.
So, but whatever, that's how the mind is a very powerful tool.
Extremely.
So, and so it's so much so powerful that in the scripture, they mention how it's important to cast down imaginations and high thoughts that exalts itself above God. And they actually say that the mind is a battlefield. It's a meaning that there's strongholds in the mind. Strongholds are fortresses. They are things that kind of keep you at bay, from keeping you from wanting to do things. Doubt, like we're talking about anxiety.
Yeah, doubt is a huge one.
Yeah. So it's like the mind is playing chess, or the enemy's playing chess with us in our mind.
Yeah.
Or actually, I can actually say, our physical bodies is playing with our minds, in chess.
I think it's interesting, just to piggyback off of what you're saying. our brain is what gets us through the day. It's what allows us to do the things that we do. But in the wrong situations or sometimes our brains can kind of be a barrier as well.
That's right. There it is.
And that's why, like we were saying before, that's why it's important to have these conversations and talk about that, because we want to help not only you guys, but ourselves. We want our brains to work in. Let's talk about something. Just because it's on your team doesn't mean it can't be a negative. We were talking about a football player.
Oh, come on, man.
We've been talking about a football player all year that's very good.
Okay.
We ain't gonna say. Should we say his name? GP.
Let's go for it, man. I think we can. Let's give him some real deal.
Yeah, because George Pickens is. So we're both very diehard Steelers fans, and George Pickens is a very good wide receiver. He wears the same jersey as everybody else on the Steelers team. But another example is Jimmy Butler too. We can get into that, but even if we're wearing the same jersey, we're all on the same team. But if that player or that thing is working against the team, it's a barrier. It's no different than an external enemy.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So that's why it's important to try to train your brain to not be an enemy. Or something that is and it's difficult. I mean, it's difficult. Like as human beings, we're gonna have those type of struggles. But that's why it's important to kind of narrow down what your limitations might be or some of the struggles that you may have, so that you can work on improving it.
Exactly. And it's like one of the organs in our bodies that you can't provide a transplant for. Anybody say you're going to get a brain transplant, do you? Yeah. I mean, maybe stems from the brain, but not a whole brain.
Yeah, you ain't taking out no brain and put here you go. Yeah. Here's a new one.
Yeah, you do a heart, which is amazing, but they haven't figured the brain one out.
Yeah. I mean, it's literally your processes. I mean, we're computers, basically. And you take the brain out and it's just like taking, what's the thing in the computer? Look, now I'm showing that I'm not very computer literate, but the hard drive, the motherboard, whatever it's called. But when you take that, it's done. You can still have the whole shell there, but it doesn't do anything.
Exactly. Exactly.
So.
Exactly. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to capture the moment of, it's almost like the power of intention. There's a song that I used to like, in the 90s, it was by Lauryn Hill. Everything is everything.
Lauryn Hill.
Yeah, man.
Back in her glory days.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's a nice song, bro. That song is actually really deep. Sing it, but I knew he was going to go on this.
Nah.
I knew it. So,
I can't hold back.
Hey, boy, you got it. Nah, brother.
Say, Chris.
The rest of the song you're going to.
Nah, look, I ain't gonna look. We're gonna say that. That'll be an episode 10 special. If y'all can make it through episode 10, I'll give y'all the whole song.
Yeah, this dude right here. That's my.
I'm sorry that I didn't tell you.
No, man, you good, brother. We could always come right back.
That's right. That's right.
4 seasons, right? Winter, spring, summer, fall. That's what the song is talking about, of course. Social awareness. The song is actually just saying, I mean, everybody will say like everything's everything. What is meant to be will be. However, it's almost like for the mind itself, anything becomes everything. So for us, it's the power of intention. Our intentions on the day, our true intentions is within the subconscious. It's within our whole belief system. It's in our whole expectation in life itself. So you can be so victimized and so live such a traumatic life and not even realize that you live a traumatic life. But basically, you've adapted or allowed yourself to be flexible only to the negative and not the positive. So the fact that you mentioned how it is good, positive talk is great. Negative does do things for us. Yeah. But the word, and I keep going to the word today. I don't know, it must be a word day.
Word of the day.
God makes no mistakes. And his ways are not our ways, nor his thoughts are our thoughts. Matter of fact, the word says his thoughts are as far as different from ours, like heaven and earth. And I mean, with that being said, it's almost like if he can't make no mistakes, and we got these things that happen in our life, and we typically label them as negative, we don't use them to catapult us to the positive.
I love what you said. Can I share something with you that I wrote down that relates to? It says, when you look at the role of gratitude in improving mental health, manifestation often involves focusing on what you already have before you focus on what you desire more of. And I think I like that because I feel like it kind of goes hand in hand with what you were saying. Like, also just in relation to manifestation in regards to mental health as well. And I know you talk about intentions, and they talk about how setting intentions and visualizing success can help with anxiety, depression, and stress. Now, it's not a substitute for appropriate and proper mental health,
Correct.
but alongside, setting intentions and visualizing success can help with some of those things.
Come on, brother.
So that's why we talk about when you hear the word manifestation, some people, and I'll be honest, like when I was younger, I thought that too. I thought when people said manifestation, all they were saying was, that just means you wake up and say, all right, I'm going to have a mansion tomorrow, and I'm just going to sit here and wait for it to come. And that's, now we do know that there are some people that may feel like, but true manifestation is not about just saying this is going to happen and waiting for it to happen.
That's right.
It's also about being, like we said, understanding what you already do have, understanding what you need to try to reach those dreams, reach those goals or whatever it is that you may have, and actually working towards, not just sitting on your butt and saying, all right, man, all right, that mansion should be showing up any day now. That's not true manifestation.
Ooh.
That's just throwing a dream out there and hoping for the best.
Man.
And sitting on your butt usually that ain't gonna happen.
I like the way you make me think, brother.
Hey, man, that's what I'm here for, man. I'm here to make you think, brother.
No diggity. Hey. All right.
Look.
Real sure. So yeah, man, you basically said something to me that hit me.
Mm-hmm.
You basically are saying to me that we got limitations.
Absolutely.
And you got limitations that are different from mine, just listening to you. So I guess it is a Bible day. The person, the parable, they had talents. One had 10, one had 5, one had 1. The one had 10, went out and got 10 more, made 20. The one that had 5 did the same thing. The one that had 1, he was ashamed. So he took that one he had. When the master came back, he said, "What'd you do with that talent?" He said, "I buried it." And he was like, "Why? I only had 1." That one talent could have been on our scale of humanity, I guess. Could have been singing contract after American Idol, or it could have been a wrestling contract, or it could have been president of the United States. It could have been anything. But he looked at the one. He looked at the quantity, not the quality, the quantity, and said, "Hey, I'm just going to bury it. I'm not going to use it." So I'm bringing that up in this because it seems like with us, we all have our limitations, and we all have our perspective, and we all have our beliefs, and we all have different things that we typically do things. And a lot of times we don't allow ourselves, like what you're saying, to examine what needs to be examined so that we can be better off as people. So basically, I like the way that you personalized your experiences. You didn't shun it off on nobody else, but you took accountability.
And I think that's probably one of the most important things that you'll learn in life, especially to our younger listeners.
All right.
One of the hardest things to do, because you've grown up in life. When you're a kid, you grow up and you feel like, I'm just kind of here. You know what I mean? Like, my parents are responsible for me. They got to make sure I eat. They got to make sure, I got a place to live. And so when you go into adulthood, I feel like it's kind of a jarring transition.
Yep.
And it's something that there's no manual for it.
Yep,
you just have to kind of jump into the fire and deal with it. And I think a lot of times they struggle with that accountability, because it's like when you go from being a kid to being a man or a woman, like you said, there is no, okay, we're going to take a test and we're going to make sure you're ready for it. Like it just happened. Accountability is one of the biggest things that you really want to try to work on. Because I feel like when you're able to take accountability, acknowledgement is the first step to improvement. You have to acknowledge that there's a weakness. You have to acknowledge that maybe you did make a mistake. Maybe I didn't pass that test because I didn't study hard enough. Maybe I didn't make the team because I didn't train or practice hard enough. Instead of, man, and how many times you heard this? Man, I went out for the joint, man, the coach don't like me. Oh man, I tried to pass that class, man. Teacher, she don't like me because, what I'm saying, she jealous of me because I'm young and prettier. I mean, you hear so many, but when you can really truly take accountability, that's where acknowledgement starts.
That's right.
And then you can say, okay, what do I need to do to improve on that? If you can't take accountability, then you're not going to make improvements. You're going to be stagnant.
That's right. You just reminded me about, you reminded me about something, and it's a life lesson that I'll never forget. And the kids that played on the team, they'll tell you this. There's a Boo Williams AAU team. I don't know if it was a full moon, but I always go with it is with the full moons and kids, man. Dudes was in the ninth grade, bunch of ninth graders, and I think it was 14U team. It was playing Williams. And I don't know if we beat this team so bad or they beat themselves this bad. But first quarter, we came out blazing. And I think we might have been up by 20 first quarter. So I put in the,
It's a beat down. Okay, my fault.
Full court press and everything.
You was full court out the gate, bro?
Out the gate.
I like it.
I mean, for AAU, you got to.
I like it.
This team was
yeah, man, look.
Bro, let me tell you.
Make them boys realize their limitations.
By halftime, we were winning by 40. By this time, I'm like, all right, we gonna put in, kids usually don't get no burn.
Time to put in the bench players.
By third quarter, we were winning by almost 70.
Even the bench players were smoking.
By fourth quarter, we won the game, and I told them to hold the ball. Don't even shoot the ball.
Yeah, just run the clock.
By 99 points. 99 points. And I felt at one time, at some point, the kids clocked out.
Their kids or your
mentally.
kids?
Oh, not ours.
They
wanted to go up by 100.
Yeah. That would have been me. I would have been like, Coach, just let me shoot one more time. Man.
Yes, 99. I think they clocked out by the end of first quarter. I mean, they all their confidence, their ability to play, everything checked out. All they could think of was defeat. So when you're saying what you're saying, it seems like that applies when we're really going through something or when we're really like facing some type of adversity or struggle. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yep, absolutely.
So at some point, they checked out. That's life.
Yeah.
People check out.
But where do you go from there?
Ooh.
Okay, so now you lost my 99 points. You're playing a sport, and I assume, like I said, if it's AAU, I know that this is something you take seriously.
Yeah.
Because AAU, that means you balling, you nice. It's something you probably trying to get into college and everything. So where do you go from there when you get beat so bad that you realize, like, man, like there are cats out here that are a lot better than me, and all my boys that I thought we were nice, man. So do you take that and say, might as well just find a new hobby? Or do you take that and say, I'm at the gym tomorrow. We're gonna train harder. We're gonna add an extra 30 minutes to it this time. But we're gonna lift a little bit more weight. So we're gonna shoot, we're gonna put up a few more shots in the gym and practice. Where do you go from there?
Man, that's deep.
Yeah.
You know why? Okay, so that's deep because the manifestation part is this. You got to remember the subconscious and the conscious. The subconscious is what has the belief system. Like, let's use the game. Okay, regardless of what they think that night, their subconscious said they're done. They're defeated. They suck. We're sorry. We're not better than them. They believe that totally. So like what you're saying though, hey, where do you go from there? Create new belief systems. You got to. And in order for you to do that, and one person I respect is Kobe. Kobe with the Mamba mentality. When he lost the game, he stayed.
Yeah.
He stayed at the Staples Center.
Yeah.
And he played it. If he left at 12 at night, the game was over whatever time, he left 12 at night. Whatever time he was going to practice. And he's not practicing new stuff. It's the fundamentals. The things that he felt like he needed to do better in the game. So go ahead. I see you, brother.
I'm about to say, but this is just bringing it back to the old point. This is why, and I feel like I said, I saw what you were doing. This is why anger, frustration, they should be looked at as negative emotions, because you know what caused him to be in there that late by himself, putting up 150 shots from three and 150 from the wing and 150 from the free throw line and dribbling up. And what caused him to do that was that frustration.
Yes, sir.
That anger. Like they came in the stick that beat me, my team, my squad.
Yep.
It's what you do with that emotion.
Ooh.
So if you take that anger and you crash out, as the kids say, and you crash out and you go punch another teammate and you go to jail and you do this, then it is a negative emotion. Ooh. But if you use it and you say, hey, I'm gonna stay 3.
Oh my goodness.
Hey man, we going to the club and no, not me, man. I gotta practice a little bit more. It's no longer a negative emotion.
Oh man, we ain't going to the club, man.
No, we're not going, man. Cause I gotta put these shots up. Cause I was cold tonight, man. I gotta get more consistent. That's when it becomes a positive emotion. Because you use that emotion to create a positive outcome.
That's right. And I agree. And that's what all negative emotions, like what we're referring to, but we label them negative. I mean, jealousy is we say typically that's a negative emotion, right? So, I mean, you could be jealous about what somebody has. And you could use it as a goal. Oh, I see you have that. That's awesome. Oh, you got that new whip. Oh, okay. How much it costs and where you get it? Use it as motivation to kind of like get something better or get something of the same if you want.
Yeah.
But you don't have to necessarily stay there. You know, when you're there, that's when you start coveting. You start like being envious, hateful, despiteful, wicked, and everything else. Yes, that's when it can become negative.
Yeah.
So that's good, brother.
It's what you do with the emotion, not the actual emotion itself.
Ooh. So now I can say that. And that, what did Taya say? Taya says this a lot. Emotion is energy in motion. That's what Taya says.
Ooh.
That's a bar.
Energy.
Emotion.
Ooh, okay.
Energy in motion.
Snap it up for Taya, yo.
Taking a mindfulness meditation class. And
Come on.
she came out and said that, man. I froze for about a good 2 minutes just to get that in. But that's very true. Emotion really is nothing. We're the ones that give the energy to that emotion. And that's based on the subconscious mind. How we believe whatever happened is the intensity we put our emotion into the expectation that was met or not met.
Absolutely.
So, and you can hold it like a football or a loaf of bread. It's up to you. If you hold it like a football and it's real close to you, oh, it's intense. Loaf of bread, you already know what's going to happen. You can carry that football like a loaf of bread, boy.
They gonna TJ Watt gonna come out
there.
there.
TJ Watt by the corner, boy.
Right?
Tuck that thing in.
Life is just a bunch of TJ Watt trying to poke that football.
I like that. Ooh.
trying to poke that thing out of there, man.
TJ Watt, where are you, brother? We need you for this one.
TJ, hit us up, man. Look, I know we talked about a lot today, man.
Yeah,
but
we did.
We got so much more to talk about, man.
We do.
You think we can do that on the next episode?
Yeah.
Because I mean, this is one of those ones that you need a part two. Because I mean, we could probably talk about this for 2.5 hours if we wanted to.
So just chill.
For the next episode. Hold on. We said 1, 2. Nah, look, we can't even do it to him, man. Look, we ain't even gonna do it to him. I don't want Dre to send us no.
Yeah,
what do you call it? Cease and desist. I forget what they call it. The cease and desist.
Yeah, that's it.
But I don't know a whole lot of legal stuff, man.
But that's it right there. We wanted to kind of like lay the foundation down for this one, and we're gonna go right into it next week.
Absolutely, man. I can't wait. I got a lot more to talk about, man.
Likewise, my brother.
Hey, but until then, I'm Chris Sapp.
And I'm Steve Foster.
We're looking forward to seeing y'all next week.
Yes.
Like we said, just chill.
That's it.
Till the next episode. We out.